Hey, welcome to another tutorial of Photoshop Basics. So what we're going to try today is called a layer mask. Now, last time we tried making a quick mask using the quick mask mode over here on the left-hand toolbar. Today we're going to go to the other toolbar, which is on the right side, where your layers is located, hence the layer mask. So the layer mask looks just like the quick mask tool. It has a rectangle with a circle in it, but it is located in your layers panel. So let's try this out. So why we are doing a layer mask, we always have to remember that first, if our background layer is locked, it will not edit it correctly. So we can do two things here. We can go Command J and duplicate the layer. So we have a layer 1 and our background layer is never touched, and we can always go back to it. Or we can double click on the lock like so, and that will remove the background as a background layer, lock background layer, making it a normal layer. So just for the purpose of this tutorial, I am going to leave our background layer locked and use layer 1 for our layer mask. Now, when you're making a layer mask, you have to keep it in mind that you have to make a selection, much like the quick mask mode. So I'm going to use my lasso tool, the polygonal to be exact, to cut out the pyramid condo here in Ocean City. And as I'm cutting this out, you guys, once again, you want to think about making sure that you get as close as possible to your object, that you have no pixels around it because you don't want it to have an aura or some kind of weird outline. And we place this into another background. And while we're selecting this, you're probably thinking, how is this different than the quick mask mode? Well, remember, the quick mask mode is a temporary mask that you can use just to make a better selection so you can cut and copy and paste it out. The layer mask is a mask that is in your tools, in your layer panel, and it is an editable mask that is attached to whatever layer that you put it on. So for example, I'm going to put it on layer 1. But if I had 10 layers, I could do the same mask and put it on all 10, or do 10 different layer masks. It all depends on what I select for each of those layers. Okay, I'm almost done here. Alright, so I'm cutting out the sky away from the building. That's what my goal is here, because I'm going to put a different sky in. So I just want the building in. Now this looks like a pretty good selection, but you can see that there's a little bit of sky in my selection around the building. So I would have to go into quick mask mode and clean this up. I'll do that real quick. Remember using the black paintbrush to paint in the red tint, which is your unselected area. And if you're not for sure what the quick mask tool is doing, remember you can always go into my first tutorial, which talks about the quick mask mode. I'm going to pause for just a second and clean up the building, and then I'll come back and we'll talk about the layer mask in just a minute. Okay, so I made a pretty good selection here with the pyramid, and just to remind you guys that I am looking to change the sky because I don't want these other buildings to interfere with the importance of this pyramid shape building here in Ocean City. So I want to make sure that the selection is for the building, cutting out the background. So now that I have a selection, all I need to do is go to my layers panel and click on layer mask. You see right here, add layer mask. And you can see that it made a cool little pyramid shape, much like my selection. The white in this little layer mask means that it is visible. The black in this layer mask means that it is invisible, but you're saying, wait a minute, I can see the whole picture still. Remember, we put that background layer as a backup in case we messed up. So let me turn off the visibility on that background layer. And now you can see that we have nothing showing in the background. Pretty cool, right? And this allows us to slip in a pretty cool sky and change it up and make it a completely different day if we want to. We could put like an outer space scene. We could put a different blue sky in. I could make it nighttime or sunset. It's really up to you. What we're going to do here is I'm just going to take my eraser tool. And you can see I can erase it out. And you can see, oh, it's erasing it out here too. I have that line. Let me undo. So if you want to clean it up a little more, you can do that. I can also use my paintbrush tool, much like you did with the quick mask mode, and I can paint the sky back in using white. I can paint my sky back in as long as I am selected on the on the layer mask itself, not the color, not the picture, not the color picture of the layer, but the layer mask. As long as I'm clicked on that, I can edit things back into the mask. So this mask is completely adjustable. So there's anytime you feel like, oh, it's not what I want, you can edit it, or you can delete it and start over again. So now it's cut out. Let's pull in my blue sky. So I decided that I wanted to have a new blue sky brought in. So I can do this a couple ways. You can go to your object and you can drag it right into Photoshop and release it. And I'll show you how to do it this way. Just take your image, either wherever it's in the folder or on the desktop, and you can see that it opens up into a little tab right here. Or you can just go File on the top of the Photoshop bar, go to File, Open, and you could have clicked the image from whatever folder it is located in. So for example, that sky picture was in desktop. I would have picked that and opened it there. Select the sky that you want and bring it over into our pyramid building. First we have to remember that the background layer is always locked, so you got to double click on it, make it an unlocked layer. Then I can go Command A for select all, Command C for copy, and then bring it over to Command V for victory. We're going to paste it in. And then here it's telling me, do you want to convert your colors to an RGB working space? Because I took it on my lower grade camera, which is an sRGB, and it wants to put it into Adobe RGB. And I'll say, okay, that's fine. Don't show me this again. We'll talk more about what the differences are with these two things later, but for right now, let's just go don't show again and go okay. And you can see that my sky background is a lot smaller than my original picture, so I need to resize it. So using my shortcut, Command T, that is going to allow me to free transform it. And always holding down your shift button so you don't cause any distortion when you're resizing pictures. Make sure you hold down that shift button until you're completely done. So I'm going to size it up, make it nice and big, maybe line it up a little bit like so. And when I'm completely done with it, then I let go of my shift button and push return to place the image. Oh no, what's happened? My sky is in front of my building. Now what do I do? No problem. Just grab that layer 2 down and place it below layer 1. And here we have a beautiful sky for the pyramid that is more dramatic. So here is our before. And here is our after. So before and after. That is how you do a layer mask. It is, you can edit it. You can move it around to other layers. It's very user-friendly, and we'll do some more fun things with this in the next one. Stay tuned. And remember to practice and save often.